concerns or seen a lot of pushback.
Communities all along the Mississippi River share stories of how they're helping their citizens during the government shutdown. State Representative Colin Wellenkamp is the executive director of the Mississippi River Cities and Towns Initiative.
Cities are stepping up, and some being the first to respond to this prolonged need at a critical point in the year, right on the eve of Thanksgiving.
Wellenkamp says a convoy of Hope shipment of food is coming to St. Charles today. The St. Charles City Administrator says they will not be disconnecting people's water or power due to non-payment in November or December. The state of Texas is suing Roblox for allegedly concealing safety risks from parents. As KMOX virtual consumer editor Megan Lynch tells us, one group has had concerns about online gaming platform for years.
They have age ratings on them, but they're constantly mislabeled. We've found violent games rated 5+ and a range of other inappropriate content.
Robbie Torney with Common Sense Media says another risk is the chat features.
There are a lot of different chat types, some of which are built into games that parents can't turn off.
Torney says Roblox has rolled out features to try to make the platform safer, but the question is whether those features are doing enough. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
From the business desk, sponsored by Krenz Financial Group, KFGadvisors.com, Dobbs Tire and Auto continues to grow. The chain based in High Ridge has opened new locations and made several acquisitions, bringing the number of Dobbs locations to 130 in 8 states. Dobbs acquired automotive chains in Longview, Texas, Cleveland, Ohio, and Columbia, Missouri. New locations are also opening in Warrenton, Arnold, and Highland, Illinois.
Mostly sunny, blustery, and cold this afternoon. Our high 39, but accurate with the real field temperatures in the 20s. Clear early tonight. The wind will diminish, then partly cloudy and cold late tonight. Lows ranging from 22 in the coldest suburbs to 27 downtown at the Arch. For Veterans Day, partly sunny, breezy, and not nearly so cold in the afternoon, high 56. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Right now, it's sunny, windy, and 37 degrees. The weather sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers, an important decision, and should not be based solely on advertising.
This is the Gashouse Gang on 104.1 FM KMOX. Sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer. Now, the Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
Hey, look, we're on TV. You ever watch Gashouse Gang on TV? I actually did.
I'm watching it right now.
I watched you guys on the TV in my living room. I airplayed it. I'm like, got my wheels turning a little bit. Why isn't this show on TV? This is, dude, it's pretty fun.
Well, here's what you could do, Tom.
Yeah, what?
Don't you have one of those smart TVs?
Yeah, that's what I did. And I airplayed it up on the big screen. I'm like, this is phenomenal.
Get the YouTube app.
The YouTube app's cool too. You could do that.
You can just watch us right there.
Yeah. It is fun. It is the Gashouse Gang. We're here on Monday. Mondays are fun because I'm here with Ronj, and then we're with Amy, and we're with Rammer, and we talk all sports, all things. And things tend to break on Monday. We have news breaking right and left. We'll get into some baseball, a couple things that Chaim Bloom told me yesterday on Sports on a Sunday Morning that I found interesting. But 2 things. One, regarding baseball, Bruce Bochy is back with the San Francisco Giants. The Giants just announced that he has returned to the organization as a special advisor to baseball operations. Nice move there for Bruce Bochy.
Yeah, that's a good spot for a guy who's been a manager for a long time, doesn't want to do the grind.
Pretty nice guy to have at the ready if you're Tony Vitello. Hey, Bruce, Hall of Famer to be.
Yep.
What do you think about this move? Yeah, I like it. All right, thanks. And secondly, Brian Daboll,
another Giant,
has been fired by the New York Giants.
Wow.
You got him fired. What do you think about that?
You know what? Good for the Bears. Good for the Bears coming back. And Brian Daboll, this was one of those. Let me just say this. I don't want to get too deep into the Bears weeds, but this is the kind of game that usually the Bears coaching staff makes the dumb mistake toward the end where they decide not to go for it on like 4.5 yards from the goal line and really put it away and decide to kick the field goal instead, which allows the other team to come back and take the lead and win. And that's exactly what the Bears did. They came back, took the lead and won. Usually the Bears leave the door open with something stupid, but this time Brian Daboll did something stupid and now he's out of a job. I'm a little surprised they were that proactive though.
And I've spent my entire life watching Indiana football get its doors kicked in or lose games that they had won and then let it get away. And so it would go down as an L, but you always were like, man, but they were right there. And now here they are as one of the best teams in the country, number 2. They get outplayed by Penn State, yet magically move down the field and win the game on a Fernando Mendoza Heisman Trophy drive. Omar Cooper with an incredible catch, and Indiana steals one at Penn State. Great football weekend for us.
Buddy,
Great football weekend.
I'm going to tell you something. I saw that. I saw the end of the game. I saw Fernando Mendoza, who is now, by the way, the Heisman favorite. He is the Heisman betting favorite after what happened Saturday. And I thought there's just come on. No way that happened. That's incredible, dude. That is what they are doing. I cannot imagine being an Indiana fan and knowing that my football team was just a black hole of death and nothingness for years and generations. And really only basketball you could count on. And that football they should have just contracted the program. They should have just gotten rid of Indiana football altogether.
Or relegate us, right?
Relegate them. Yes, to whatever is less than the XFL. But to see that they are, the number 2 team in the country, that they have legitimate national championship hopes. You must be beside yourself.
It's amazing. That win,
unreal.
That win was the best one. And it was because they didn't play well, but championship teams find a way. And yeah, I've said it now. They are a championship caliber team. I didn't admit it until now that they found a way to win a game that they shouldn't have. And that tells me that they have it in them, that they can do this. And that was an amazing time. By the way, Mendoza is just like one of the best kids you could. He's almost too perfect. Like he says all the right things. He makes all the plays. He's a great kid. He's smart. And Indiana's got a golden quarterback and just a wonderful team. Banged up with injuries right now. Found a way to get through it. Wisconsin and Purdue, their last 2 games, and then they try to figure it out. Big Ten championship looks like Ohio State if things stay this way, and then you roll in with a first-round bye and try to figure out how to power your way to a national championship. It's hard to even imagine those words associated. And by the way, for dessert, Indiana the next day drops 100 points on Shaka Smart and Marquette in a basketball game in Chicago. Just like, dude, wow, what is happening?
Well, and let me just for clarity's sake, Indiana's number 2 in the coaches poll in the AP poll, football. They're number 3 in the CFP rankings.
2.
They are 3 now as of yesterday because Texas A&M has taken the number 2 spot, I believe.
They haven't announced it yet.
They haven't yet?
No.
Oh, this is it. Okay. Here's what we're looking at.
You're looking
this is
like a power index.
This is a projection.
Yeah.
This is a projection what CFP might look
and
at.
I'd be
Does it come out
fine with
tomorrow?
it. Yeah, it comes out every Tuesday. I'd be okay. It doesn't matter to me really at this point.
Well, I've heard that talk that after beating Mizzou that Texas A&M should
possible.
be 2.
I don't think that they'll downgrade Indiana.
I don't know how you could.
I mean, it's just such a great win, and they'll probably keep it the same, Raj, to be honest. I mean, the polls have them 1 through 5 the same. I think you'll have Alabama 4 and Georgia 5. Georgia looks pretty tough, by the way.
Yeah, they do.
But so they'll go 1 through 5 that way. But at this point, you have to play out the schedule. I think that Indiana just escaped a major block in the road and got through it. And now they have a chance. Last home game against Wisconsin, maybe the last home game of the season, because if they keep going this way, they won't play a playoff game at home. They'll go straight to the quarterfinals. And then Purdue, and then the Big Ten championship. We'll see how it all plays out. Missouri, meanwhile, loses to that Texas A&M team, and they did not look like a team that belonged in the playoff, both statistically and just to the eye test. Did not do enough to protect their quarterback, Matt Zollers. Just a brutal offensive line, and the play calling left a lot to be desired. I thought you should have been a little more conservative with him. Short passing game, and the defense, it's a shame because Missouri's defense is good enough to compete in the SEC. But the offense, with all the playmakers, they just can't get the ball to them enough.
Yeah.
And they can't move the ball well enough against a solid Texas A&M team. That team is going to be very, very tough to knock out.
I just don't know how you can, and we talked about the game going into the game over the weekend. That's a lot to ask from a quarterback who just got thrown into it.
Right?
I mean, a young guy who's probably going to be pretty good someday. You can't expect him to pop right in and handle a team like that.
Yeah, that's a lot to ask of the kid. 7 of 22 passing. They ran the ball effectively with 2 100-yard rushers, but maybe not enough running, and just it wasn't enough. Missouri could not handle Texas A&M. Got it to 24-10, and then in the fourth quarter just got overwhelmed. The Cardinals are beginning their march here in this offseason in the GM meetings tomorrow towards trying to get this team back together. Chaim Bloom will be in Vegas at those GM meetings. Met with me yesterday. You can listen to the interview. It's about 9 or 10 minutes on Sports on a Sunday Morning's podcast page, but here are the Cliff's Notes. He said that, yes, they are going after pitching, and it depends on how they do it. If it's trade, we're looking at controllable younger pitchers for the Cardinals. Of course, that's going to cost a lot, so be prepared for that, but that's one of the things he's looking at. If it's free agency, do not expect them to get into some bidding war for all the top guys, but he said, perhaps they would look for somebody who would like to, he didn't use these words, but I would say reclaim what they once were in the St. Louis environment. So an opportunity for somebody
to unlock something,
that they think they can unlock something.
Hey, I mean, Tom, I got no problem with that. Yeah, I mean, if this were a different year where they were this close to being real championship contender, then I'd like to see a little better than a reclamation project. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see a little better than maybe a scrap heap guy that nobody ever really gave much thought to, or maybe the Cardinals coaching staff has identified something in him that other teams they feel like hadn't seen. If they were doing that and this was verge of championship type roster, then I think I'd be a little annoyed with that. But right now, as they are in the midst of a rebuild, that doesn't bother me at all.
He said trade first, and he said controllable pitcher first, and a pitcher that they would be able to put in a rotation in October and help them.
Right.
That, since he said that first, that tells me that's their first option here moving forward, and that's what they're trying to do. I also asked him about Arenado and Contreras and Gray. Any updates on conversations with those players? He said not anything more than what they told the media after that last series in Chicago, and he didn't really expand on that, but all three. And he said, I appreciated their transparency. No real updates injury-wise on any of them, and he said that's a good thing, that they're all sort of progressing quite well. So here we go. I mean, the GM meetings start tomorrow. Conversations start to happen, and we'll see what the Cardinals end up doing. The Blues, they lost again, this time in overtime. It's just excruciating how things are happening to them. A goal at the end of regulation looked like goalie interference, and then an overtime loss. We'll talk it over with Amy Marxkors coming up next. I'll tell you a bright spot in the St. Louis landscape, the St. Louis Billikens. They're pretty good. When you score 200 points in 2 games, I think that's pretty good. We'll talk to Bob Ramsey about that at 12:30. More baseball talk. We'll take all of your texts and comments as well at YouTube, X, and Facebook. With Chris Rongey, I'm Tom Ackerman. This is the Gashouse Gang. Amy Marxkors talking Blues hockey when we come back.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Cunahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions and bring you a special Black Friday offer.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal. And now, as a special Black Friday offer, you can get a free gutter inspection, plus up to 35% off. This is our best offer of the season. Unlock it now at leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining our health.
We knew the water we drink every day could be filled with contaminants. So
we called Leaf Home Water Solutions.
They came to our home and did a free water test and gave us the analysis right away.
We were shocked at what we saw.
They found heavy metals like iron and copper.
Our own tap water was putting our health at risk, but Leaf Home Water Solutions made it easy to get safer water from every tap and hose. A whole home solution.
They have more than 250 product combinations and designed a system that fits our needs and budget. The installation took less than a day.
With Leaf Home Water Solutions, our water is safer and healthier. When we drink, when we cook, when we shower, even when we garden.
We feel better about our health.
Thanks to Leaf Home Water Solutions.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
Baseball is all about stepping up to the plate when it matters most. And when you've been injured, you need a heavy hitter in your corner. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Proud sponsor of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
Navigating healthcare can be tricky, but you don't have to do it alone. The Navigator Project is here to help Missourians every step of the way. We provide free, personalized assistance with enrollment in the healthcare marketplace. We'll guide you through your options, help find the right plan, and get the coverage you need. Go to ma4web.org and select the Services tab to find a navigator. Brought to you by the Missouri Association of Area Agencies on Aging.
Hi, this is John Kelly. Congratulations from the Kelly family to KMOX Radio. 100 years strong as the voice of St. Louis.
To the middle, off Hofer, to the far wing it goes. They come back to Stevenson, he shoots, they've scored! The puck deflects in, the Kraken have tied it up with just about a second on the clock.
We were just talking about this off the air. The box score says 19:58 of the third period. The scoreboard read .5. Whatever it was excruciating. The Blues giving up the goal to the Seattle Kraken at the end of regulation with Amy Marxkors now in studio. I'm Tom Ackerman. Chris Rongey is here. James O'Sullivan. Look, he's on the video too. He's one of our producers. Frank Ladd is also producing. Amy, whatever it is, should it have counted? I mean, was that goalie interference or not?
Yes, it was goalie interference. I will say, obviously, the league has the final say, but ruling the way they did, especially in light of the way they ruled a few games ago when Mackenzie McEachern got the goalie interference and the goal was called back. It makes zero sense to me. There's certain boxes that need to be checked for it to be goalie interference. The player needs to be in the crease and the blue paint without being pushed or shoved, which he was. He needs to initiate contact with the goaltender, which he did. Eberle's skate hit the stick, the blade of Joel Hofer. And then thirdly, that contact needs to somehow impede the goaltender from making the save. Well, the stick side, blocker side, is the side that Jordan Eberle interfered with, and that's the side in which the goal was scored. To me, I think to the broadcasters, Chris Kerber, Joey Vitale, and to the team, Jim Montgomery, the rest of the team, the Blues video coach, they were all pretty darn certain this was goaltender interference. So certain that Jim Montgomery had said if this were not in the final minute of play, if there had been 5 minutes left in the game, they would have challenged it themselves. And they only challenge when they're pretty darn sure. Because think about this. Half a second left in the game. If they challenge and they're wrong, they go into overtime shorthanded. So they were that certain. They know we would have challenged it 100%. We knew that was goaltender interference. It makes zero sense. I was up in the press box. Everyone was confounded. All the beat writers, the writers they emailed the league, and knowing that the league was probably going to give some canned response, which they did. It was determined. That's what they said. It was determined. It didn't interfere with Hofer's ability to make a save. It doesn't make any sense to me.
No, that's the thing, is that if we all know the rules and you just laid them out perfectly, and so did Montgomery after the game, then why doesn't the NHL reverse it? Well, you just explained some of their thinking, but that was a mess. And then they don't get the puck at all in overtime and lose to the Kraken. They find new ways to lose. That one, not really their fault necessarily with the goalie interference that wasn't called, but they still find new ways to lose these games. I mean, they put themselves in position to lose the game. It's just crazy.
They did. And that's the thing. They finally got their first good bounce in the win against Edmonton when Robert Thomas was at the goal line. He tosses the puck, it hits the back of the goalie and goes in. They get their first good bounce because they put themselves in a position to get a good bounce. They do what they need to do, which is effectively clear their own zone, have clean breakouts so they don't have turnovers in the neutral zone, and they forecheck aggressively. They did those things, and when you do those things and you have puck position in the offensive zone, you're going to create opportunities to have good bounces. Conversely, when you don't clear the zone, which they didn't, they missed multiple opportunities to clear their own zone. When you come out with a lackluster second period and you have multiple neutral zone turnovers, you have multiple blue line turnovers at the offensive zone, which means no sustained pressure in the offensive zone, you put yourself in a position to become victim to a bad bounce or a bad call. So yes, they lost that game because of what was objectively the wrong call, but they also shouldn't have allowed themselves to be put in that position in the first place.
Well, they're up 2-0.
Yep.
And it's another multi-goal lead they blew, and it's not like, again, I mean, yeah, the call was probably bad, and they would have, like you said, they would have challenged that, but they're letting teams back into games when they have no business being in games.
And I don't understand lackluster play. I don't understand coming out in the second period flat. We saw Jordan Kyrou got benched. He's their, big goal scorer. That made news across the National Hockey League when Jordan Kyrou is a healthy scratch because, as we've heard from Jim Montgomery, from all the hockey people, the one power that a coach has, the leverage that a coach has, is ice time, playing time. That's what the coach has. You don't want to play that card a lot. You don't want to keep benching your top guys, but they benched Kyrou. He comes back, has a strong game. But why are we seeing this again? We're in a position that you have to bench Kyrou at the beginning of the season. It doesn't make any sense to me. I said this earlier today as well. Tom, when you think back to this spring, remember that Winnipeg game was so physical that around the league, whether it was Winnipeg broadcasters, Blues broadcasters, other guys in the NHL saying, I don't think I've ever seen a playoff series so physical. They were blowing each other up. That core group is still there. And it's confusing that you can see that play out of this core group, but you can also see the play that we've seen this season where they don't seem ready. They're inconsistently committed on the ice, I guess you could say. And we've seen that before. We saw it in 2023. We saw it in 2024. I'm not quite sure what to make of it.
Well, they did all they could, I think, to try to shake it up. They call up Dvorsky. They make a healthy scratch in the form of Jordan Kyrou. They send Logan Mailloux to Springfield. That's the latest move. Is the AHL now has Mailloux. He just looked overwhelmed. You had to do it. You
do. And the thing is, with Logan Mailloux, you want him to get his confidence back. And Jim Montgomery said that, you send Mailloux back down. It's not like punishment. It's just you've got a young defenseman. And I was worried, bringing him up at a time when the team's not playing well. You put him with another young defenseman while the team's not playing well. That's a pretty big ask of a young defenseman like Logan Mailloux, who only has a handful of NHL games under his belt now. So you send him back down to the AHL, hope he gets that ice time where, 20 minutes more, and he's able to get his confidence back. That's not too concerning. I think that is a common occurrence for young developing defensemen. So I hope he's able to get his confidence back. You see him up in the press box. He's been a healthy scratch multiple games now. You see him, talking to Robert Bertuzzo or Al McInnes, veteran defensemen who can help him as he develops into the game. Also, the game looks a lot slower from the press box, and you can just see how much time you have. Hopefully he builds his confidence.
Kevin is watching us on Facebook and says, yep, the Blues find a way to lose. Will fans start no-showing like Cardinals fans did? And I think that's the kind of thing that usually takes a little bit of time. It's not like, oh, you're having a bad first month of the season. Well, I'm not going to games anymore. It's not really like that. It's usually a slow burn. It's like a 2, 3, 4 seasons. You feel like, all right, this team's not competitive now. I'm not going. That's not what this is.
Well, and also, yeah, it's a smaller fan base. It's a smaller venue. There are fewer home games. The way the tickets work, they're a little different. We know with hockey tickets versus baseball tickets. And I do think there are still some bright points for the Blues. Like you said, a bad start. We've seen that before. We've seen them bounce back. There's hope that they're going to bounce back. I'm hopeful. Maybe I'm a shill for the team, but like I can't help myself. I like to see the talent on this team. They're playing below their potential for sure. We saw what they could be at the end of last season in the playoffs against Winnipeg, and I am excited about this team. I do know Jordan Binnington's going to turn things around. He's had a bad start, but we know what he can be. His ceiling is high. It's also fun to see young guys like Dalibor Dvorsky. That's a fun kid to watch, and I think overall, hockey is fun, and no, I don't see fans no-showing. Not now.
Yeah, it's not about the players for them. You know, the Cardinals fans, it was never about the players. It was about ownership and front office, in particular, John Mozeliak. I don't sense that here, except for the John Kelly firing.
Yeah, that was
there
hard,
blowback from the fans towards the top. Other than that, it's just been a disappointment. Now, here comes Calgary playing tomorrow night, and they haven't scored a goal in a week. They lost to Minnesota 2-0, lost to the Blackhawks 4-0. So you know they're due. I worry about that. I worry about everything with this team right now.
I know.
Just like everything that could go wrong has gone wrong until I see it turn. This is the blowouts and the blown leads. It's just too much. It's too much.
At least you got Indiana football.
I do have that.
Thank God for you.
Thank goodness for that. But yeah, Calgary. I mean, what is your read on Calgary right now?
Yeah, I mean, they're not great. They're not a great team, but I mean, you know, if people from the outside were to look at the Blues right now, they say, well, you're one to talk. The Blues and Calgary are hanging out together at the bottom of the league. So there is that. I hope they take advantage of this game to try to pull things together. I don't like the do factor. I don't know if you believe in that in sports or not, but I don't like it when a team is on a 4 or 5 game losing streak and they face you or they haven't scored a goal in a week.
I do.
I kind of believe in the do factor. I don't like it.
Well, let me put it to you this way. If Calgary, let me put it to this way. If Calgary, the worst team in the West and the worst team in hockey, period, with 10 points, beats you, and especially beats you soundly, the alarms will sound. Yeah. Now you want to see panic, that'll be panic. So there, I just set the table for you for
there
tomorrow.
You go. I mean, no, I can't even think about it. But yeah, I mean, you are not wrong. And I do think if this pattern continues, and I hope it doesn't, because we saw that victory against the Edmonton Oilers. I would say if they had lost that game, I do wonder if Doug Armstrong would address the media at some point if the team struggled at the way they were struggling.
Oh, I love a good Doug Armstrong middle of the season presser.
I mean,
just holding players accountable and just some old school Army.
Didn't you think about that though? Like
I did.
If they had continued to lose games, especially if they hadn't beaten Edmonton at home, I wonder, would there have been a presser? I don't know.
I could see it. But I'll tell you what, Jim Montgomery's not in any trouble. This is not about him. It is, but it's about a collective thing.
It's not really him. I mean, it's going to be a while before it's him.
He's the face.
You know what I mean?
But it's about everybody. And, you know, as Amy just said, it's the same roster, basically, with a few additions and subtractions here and there. But mostly it's the same team that battled Winnipeg to 7 games into the final second. What the heck is going on over there? Anyway. Amy, you always do a great job.
Oh, hey, thanks.
Appreciate it. Amy Marxkors breaking down the Blues. When is your show with Curbs Wednesday?
Wednesday, 6 p.m. Matrix Midwest, 6 on Spectrum, 32 over the air, or download the app.
All right, fantastic. Tonight, Billikens, Lindenwood, 7 o'clock tip-off for SLU. They're 2-0. They're averaging 100 a game. We'll talk it over with the voice of the Billikens, Bob Ramsey, coming up next. The Gashouse Gang is sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com.
Is your car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My mechanic just suggested an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover repair bills if anything happens to the car. New brakes, transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait, you pay nothing on repairs. Ox gets it fixed, free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance?
Yeah, you don't pay. Ox pays. Ox even has a 30-day money-back guarantee and is A+ rated on the BBB. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike those other warranty companies.
The last thing I need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote, 800-221-6319. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-221-6319. 800-221-6319 or go to oxcarcare.com.
Working full-time but still falling behind? Learn how real estate education can help you build income and get ahead on your terms. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
36 degrees and sunny today. The high is going to be 39. By the end of the week, it's going to be mid-70s. What in the world?
This report is sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis.
Attention veterans and active military. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is giving veterans and active military 10% off all month. That's 10% off all doors, openers, and any service or repair. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
House stealing. It's a nightmare that's real. It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can own your home on paper, drain your equity, and do it all without you even knowing. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Don't wait. Go to HoldTitleLock.com now, promo code RADIO.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
KMOX welcomes Trans-Siberian Orchestra, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve at Enterprise Center, December 23rd at 3 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. A portion of the proceeds benefits Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve at Enterprise Center, December 23rd at 3 p.m. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
I'm Debbie Monterey, and I see more clearly thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Make your appointment today at 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
Fridays mean football. From the zoo to the NFL, we've got your weekend covered.
On three, ready?
It's Friday football on KMOX.
Look at thing stolen away by Kellen. Protect yourself. Length of the floor to the hole. Layup good because Bush was all over him or he would have dunked it.
Yes. Look at that. He stole it from a 5'9" point guard.
And stolen away by Quentin Jones. Wants to weave and drive. Reverse layup. Yes. Oh, take him to Q school.
Yes. Look at the
stolen away
dogs.
by Thames. For Sharma. Step back three. Bang. Instant Sharma. Oh, the defense is gone crazy in Chaffetz Arena.
Absolutely nuts. Bob Ramsey, Earl Austin Jr. with the call. 108-86 win over Chicago State. Our visits with Rammer, sponsored by Royal Banks of Missouri. Hello, Rammer. That was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Hey, fellas, that sequence was unbelievable. You know,
in particular, all three of those plays, getting the ball back and scoring, were great. But when you go back and look at on your TV side, Tom, on the inbound, Thames is almost going out of bounds himself to make the steal, and somehow in one motion threw it all the way, diagonally through the paint out to the left perimeter from the right baseline, kind of in one motion. It was an amazing pass, and then Sharma made it even more amazing by hitting the three. But just electric. It was really a fun moment.
The Thames is an incredible athlete. I mean, how nice to have him feeling good right now through 2 games.
Yeah, and to go along with his basketball IQ and skill, to go along with the high-level energy, it makes him a complete player. And, hopefully he'll be able to give you close to 20 minutes a night. I think he's averaging, 17 now, something like that. And so they'll get him out there in spurts throughout a game. And what he can do is just simply amazing.
I know that last season there were a lot of real big expectations when it came to SLU, especially with the acquisition of Robbie Avila, who comes over and follows his head coach, Josh Schertz. I love Josh Schertz. I think he's awesome. And, it didn't quite go the way I think they expected early on. And Avila had the injury, so he was dealing with that. But how much better do you think this team, this version of a team that's only played 2 games, how much better are they than last season?
Oh, well, there's no comparison. It's a different team in almost every respect, and even in the returners like Thames and Avila, their roles are different. Well, first of all, Kellen gets to play, and assuming reasonable health for Robbie, his role has changed, and even though he's averaging 18 in these first 2 games, he doesn't have to score a ton to be effective. What's really weird is, and I wouldn't have bet on this one, he didn't have any assists yet. He's probably the best passer on the team. So all those things are going to change. This is you go from having, by the end of the year, 5 players in the rotation to having 9 or 10. It's just a remarkably different team day and night.
That said, Josh Schertz was not a happy camper in the last 7 or 8 minutes of that game. We could see that he was upset. You got to talk to him right after the game, and he talked to the media. What sort of things, and I talked to him yesterday, but at the time, though, he was pretty hot about his defense and just the overall play.
Yeah, the defense, and at the end of the game, you'd gotten the lead out to 36 and frittered it away, not playing the game, in air quotes, the right way. Who determines that? The head coach determines that. And I thought it was remarkable that he talked about selfishness, stat hunting, and those sorts of things, along with lackluster defense throughout the game. Now, we just played a clip of steals and scores and those sorts of things, but more fundamental defensive responsibility, I think, is what Coach Schertz is talking about. But I think that the refusal on the buy-in that each and every player had committed to in the offseason, in the summer, and it's a different animal when, hey, yeah, I can do that. I can be part of that. I'm going to be part of this team and the rotation and playing 10 and all that. And then the games come around and you're only playing 12 minutes or 15 minutes. You go, I don't really like this. I want to play the whole game. And so since you talked to him Sunday, I'd be interested in how Josh reacted 2 days later, Tom. But he just said that kind of play will not take place while he's the head coach of St. Louis U. I thought it put me back in my seat. I'll tell you that, because he was not kidding.
He was very calm, I thought, yesterday in the interview. So he had a couple of days to sort of come down from that. He talked about points per possession and opportunities that they have to score, and they expect to score a lot. I think the way that they're loaded right now, and certainly he wants a more consistent effort defensively. He did sing the praises of Simo again, which I think is important to note, that they did take out. I mean, after what they did against Chicago State's one thing, but they didn't play great and still hammered a good Simo team by 25 points. All you have to do is look at what Mizzou had to do against them. They had to fight to beat Southeast. Rammer?
SEMO is better than some of the prognosticators thought. And part of that, not to get off on a weird tangent, all of us, whether you're writing in magazines or newspapers, radio, TV, whatever, you're supposed to come up with opinions and strong opinions. And I've seen SEMO mostly picked in the middle of the pack in the Ohio Valley. But part of that is because we always, and understandably so, always look at unknown factors automatically put in the negative column. Well, they lost their lead guards, their two top guards, but they replaced them. And that's what you didn't know when you're making the picks in the fall. And SEMO's going to contend for the Ohio Valley again. I'm not saying they're the best. They're the only team I've seen so far. But they replaced what they lost, and I think they're going to be just fine.
So tonight, SLU will host Lindenwood at Chaffetz Arena. And this is the Lindenwood program, really the entire thing. I'm pretty impressed with the sports programs overall. They've become, making the leap to Division I and being able to do that. I don't expect tonight will be a massive test, though, for SLU. I mean, this is one that they should take. I mean, you guess you never really know. But as far as their strength of schedule overall this year goes, I know right now they're 69th in the Pomeroy and the Ken Pom rankings. What do you think of their schedule overall before they even get to A10 play?
Well, I think it's one that you have to come out of non-conference play with a really gaudy record, or you have no chance of an at-large bid. And that's the real challenge when you can't get the Power Fives to play you, and they won't. And that's why you have to have a good opportunity or multiple good opportunities in MTE, the tournament play, preseason, non-conference tournament play. And that is critical. And that's why Coach was really upset when the Ackershore kind of baited and switched them and really aren't getting the matchups they'd hoped for in their MTE. So what that does is reduce your opportunities to get big wins. Now, in this case, it's only one, but when you don't have many at all, one seems like a lot. And I think with the Big Fives not wanting to play mid-majors, that it's going to be a challenge, not just for SLU, but for any mid-major team to put together schedules that can boost their opportunities for at-large bids for the NCAA tournament. The flip side of that is Travis Ford put together some marvelous, challenging non-conference schedules, but you got to win some of those games, and the Billikens didn't. And so, that's the tightrope a mid-major coach has to walk.
How about this? Tonight, 2 Billiken Hall of Famers, 2 Lindenwood Hall of Famers, Bob Ramsey and Earl Austin Jr., calling this game. What will that be like for you?
It's going to be a lot of fun. And speaking of tightropes to walk, it's going to be a lot of fun. But let's be clear. What you said was technically correct. But Earl Austin is the best, relatively based on awards and, points scored. And he was the all-time scorer and leading rebound. Earl was a great player. I had the good fortune of being at the end of the bench on a really great basketball team. So there's a huge difference between the two, huge. And, but it's going to be great. And then to add to it, Earl and I I think this year we're going to do 9 TV games for Lindenwood basketball. So it's like we're watching, it's not like we're watching our 2 favorite teams play each other. So it's going to be a fun night. And I think Lindenwood is going to be much better than a lot of people think. And I think they're going to be in the top half of the league, the Ohio Valley, for sure. And if they stay healthy, I think they're going to make a run at that league. I think they've got an opportunity to be that good. And so it should be a very, very good basketball game tonight at Chaffetz.
Yeah, as Josh Schertz pointed out, their top 2 scorers didn't play against Texas Tech. Lindenwood's already played a top 10 team in the country. It's going to be fun tonight, Rammer. We can't wait. It's on KMOX. It's a 6:45 pregame. It's a 7:00 tip. But even better, go down to Chaffetz Arena on this cold night and warm up with some college basketball, because there's just not much better right now than what the Billikens can offer you for your money. I don't think there is a sport in town that can do what they do. Our visits, Rammer, are sponsored by Royal Banks of Missouri. Tell us about Royal Banks of Missouri.
Royal Banks have been a part of our community for actually now getting well over 50 years. And I've been with them for 25 years. Just an amazing company. And one of the things, and as the season goes on, and I'll talk about other things they do, but as we get into the holidays, I think the philanthropy from Royal Banks of Missouri is absolutely off the charts. And it's one of the things that it's, when we talk about financial institutions, well, we're in the community. Yeah, that's because of your address. But what do you do more than that? And that's where Royal Banks excels, at which they excel in their philanthropic duties to the community. They're really amazing. And when you go to any one of their branches in St. Louis, St. Charles, the East Side, Northeast Missouri, each and every one feels like your hometown bank. Royal Banks of Missouri, where better service means better banking. Member FDIC and equal opportunity lender.
Hey, just check the mail. We've been invited to a seminar and dinner is free.
It's going to be chicken, and it'll taste like Play-Doh.
Don't be fooled. All seminars are not the same. For example, Steve All, an investment advisor representative and founder of the All Financial Group, is hosting a taxes and retirement seminar at his office in Chesterfield on December 10th. Come meet Steve's newest advisor, Tracy Richardson, as she discusses the big beautiful bill, taxes on your Social Security, and more. Tracy will not only cover the hurdles you can face in retirement, but ways to keep more money in your pocket and less in Uncle Sam's. This is a complimentary event, but seating is limited, so reserve your seat today. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
You know, hon, I've always been interested in us buying a timeshare.
I'd rather eat Play-Doh.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
At Hardee's, every Tuesday is now Tender Bender Tuesday. Right now, download the Hardee's app and join My Rewards. Buy 3 hand-breaded chicken tenders, get 3 free. It's Tender Bender BOGO. Every Tuesday now through June 2026. This Tuesday, get 3 tenders, free. Next Tuesday, get them free. The Tuesday after that, you guessed it, free. Buy 3 tenders, get 3 free. Another great benefit for My Rewards members. Only at Hardee's. Registration and app required. Available for limited time at participating restaurants. See app for terms.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Drury Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Now back to the Gas House Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Back on the show here for the next 5 minutes or so, and then we will turn things over to Dave Glover with Chris Rongey. I'm Tom Ackerman, the Gas House Gang, Monday edition. Were you surprised that Albert Pujols didn't get that Padres gig?
I thought that was the whole deal. You know, the fact that he interviewed for as long as he did, 9.5 hours? And I imagine they take a lot of time with any managerial candidate they bring in, but 9.5 hours all at once seems like an extraordinarily long time. I mean, from all accounts, it seems like he wanted the gig. I'm not sure exactly what changed there, why they went a different direction. But ultimately, I think he's going to be a pretty good manager. I think we don't really know that. You don't know what kind of manager he's going to be. We don't know what kind of manager Yadier Molina is going to be. I think the assumption that a lot of Cardinals fans have is just because those guys are so great and so smart at baseball that they are going to have winning baseball teams. Well, it's not necessarily the case. Ted Williams was a smart baseball player. Ted Williams had bad teams that he managed too. So one doesn't necessarily lead to the other thing. But I do think that he will, in the end, be a pretty good one. But I don't know that for sure.
I'll be curious to see what the Cardinals do here over the next couple of days as they get closer, I think, to announcing their field staff and how they shuffle those things around. And if they add any more, they're also going to make announcements officially about their front office. But fans want to know, they're kind of, that's nice and all. They want to know what sort of players we're talking about here. Miles Michaelis is a free agent. I do not think that he'll be back in this rotation. And I have my doubts that Sonny Gray will. I think that Sonny Gray ends up with maybe the Braves or somebody like that, closer to his Nashville home. And the Cardinals get younger. They go after, as Time mentioned, some controllable young starters and perhaps a reclamation project or two that they can put into the competition, along with some pretty good ones, I think, in Michael McGreevy and Kyle Leahy. I'm still waiting to see Matthew Liberatore put together the full season, although he has a ton of promise. Quinn Matthews is a little far away. I need to see him more in Memphis, and spring training should be interesting from that standpoint. But you got to get their rotation solidified. And then the big thing for me, I think obviously you add as much bullpen help as you can, but the Cardinals have to find some power somehow, some way.
Yep.
And they got to tap into some power here. And I'll be curious to see where Heim goes in that direction, if he does it right away or if they start to acquire more power for the minor league system right now, as much as they can gather, and see what comes out of it. Because I watched a lot of playoffs this year, more postseason than I normally would. And all I saw were home runs being hit.
That's right.
I mean, all I saw were games being changed on home runs. And I thought, who on the Cardinals could do this? None. Well, I couldn't think of one person on this Cardinals roster that I would think would blast one out of the park in a big moment. Arenado used to.
Yep.
But he, I think, will be traded. And I don't see anybody else.
I think the expectation was that ultimately Walker would be that, or he'd be part of it, but he hits the ball into the ground.
I mean,
man.
Gorman's the closest one probably.
That's right.
Of somebody that you throw him a cookie over the middle, he's going to hit it out.
So the Cardinals, let's just go in ascending order from the worst in baseball to and heading upward. The worst power team, the worst home run team in the sport was the Pirates. Then the Cardinals, then the Padres, playoff team, Marlins, Royals, Rockies, terrible baseball team, Nationals, White Sox.
Padres, really? That's surprising.
Padres were the third lowest, but they could pitch.
Oh boy!
Like you can be that. There's not only one way to do it. What we're saying is, if you don't have power, you're just making the job a whole lot more difficult, and you better be an exceptional pitching team. if you're not hitting for power, because you're going to play a lot of close games. And that means you're going to play a lot of late games, and you're going to go to your bullpen, and you need them to be lights out. So if you have that, yeah, you can win without power, but it just makes the job a whole lot tougher. So how do the Cardinals climb substantially from 29th in the sport to, I don't know, like 15th or something? I don't know how you do that in one off season.
It just looks like there's such a huge gap between them and other teams in that area. That is a big thing they have to address. There are a lot of things across the board that they need to fix. And the rotation, of course, is numero uno. Got to have that, or this season will be a disaster. You got to have some foundation of a rotation. Bernie Miklasz with us tomorrow.
That's right. Let's go.
Let's do it. Chris Rongey, Tom Ackerman. Thanks for joining us. The Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining